just asking for help. If anybody knows anybody from ICE that could help me, I'm just trying to find my dad. They moved him from the facility that he was in, and we just want to know where he was sent.
Adiós, 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 adiós. Oh, come on, man.
Não tem problema, amigo. Eu não tenho problema, amigo. Hold on, P, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, bros. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Ayuda! Hand! Hand your hand! Help me! Help me! Ayúdame! Help me! Help me! Ayuda! 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 Help me! Help me! Ayuda! Hey, look at the how's the man right there? Ayúdame! They're trying to kill me! Ayúdame! Ayúdame! That's not a people! Why? Where's paper? Why? You trying to kill me? I ain't American!
Put the gun down.
Why you trying to kill me?
Put the gun down.
Why you shooting at me?
Put the gun down.
Why you trying to shoot at me?
You're gonna shoot me? Point the gun. We have it.
Yeah, see how you trying to point it at me?
It's time to speak up. ICE is now removing undocumented foster children from their foster homes. Removing foster children from their foster homes for deportation. Y'all, I've been working in the foster care system for 28 years. I'm a former foster mom, and I adopted 4 children from foster care and fostered many others. And I have represented hundreds of children who are in foster care. And one thing all of these children have in common is they have all been through trauma to one degree or another. We are taking children who have already been through trauma and removing them from foster homes for deportation. There will be a reckoning for this in this life or the next. For those of you who are supporting this, there will be a reckoning for this in this life or the next. And for those of you who are sitting silently by while these atrocities are unfolding before our eyes.
All right, so many of you probably seen the very disturbing news that there's been like over 1,000 detainees at Alligator Alcatraz that have just disappeared from the ICE system. So let's talk about it. Number one, this isn't new. It's been going on around the entire country. Yes, at Alligator Alcatraz, the Everglades internment camp, but also really at almost every ICE detention facility. They are not putting the information out there of where people are. And I've done so many heartbreaking meetings with wives, children, grandparents who literally don't know where their loved ones are. They were scooped up in the middle of the street, in front of the school, at the church by people that are literally masked, thrown in the back of a damn van, and just disappeared. No one knows where they are. And a lot of times it isn't until that immigrant, that person, calls them, if they were able to get a call, to tell them, hey, I think I'm at this place, I think I'm at that place. And so a lot of the work we've been doing locally is actually helping people locate their loved ones to see exactly where they are.
The U.S. is officially violating international law. Let's talk about it. According to new reporting on Rolling Stone, ICE is deporting people to Africa on nearly untrackable military flights. To make these flights untrackable, 2 American military cargo jets were just caught this month turning off their transponders. That's the thing that gets caught on the radar to let us know where they are. When they turn that off, it obscures their locations from public flight databases. One of those 2 jets were later identified in a lawsuit in U.S. federal court as carrying 14 Nigerian and Gambian nationals to a prison camp in Ghana. They were loaded onto the cargo jet in the middle of the night with no advance warning and were only told where they were going once the plane was in the air. One Nigerian man said that after he asked to speak with his lawyers, he was straitjacketed for several hours. which, by the way, has been the subject of a number of lawsuits over the years alleging that the use of that device has led to permanent injury and even death by asphyxiation. But once they got to Ghana, it got worse, because the men said that they were sent to an abysmal open-air prison camp and told that they would be returned to their countries of origin, which, by the way, was something that the US government had been barred from doing because they were all granted protections from removal to their countries in fear of persecution and torture. That exactly is why the US right now is violating international law. Human rights experts are saying that this amounts to chain refoulement, the forcible expulsion of refugees and asylum seekers to countries where they are vulnerable to return to, where they face persecution. They also say what is alarming today is the emerging pattern of shadowy deportations of people who have not had access to a court or any meaningful form of due process. These are removals that bear the hallmarks of forced disappearances under international law.
This is Trump's first wife, Ivana. She was born in Czechoslovakia and wanted a better life. So she first married an Austrian in a sham marriage to obtain Austrian citizenship. Divorced that guy remotely, then came to the US in 1976, married Trump, and became a citizen 12 years after she arrived. This is Trump's mother. Born in Scotland, she wanted a better life too. She boarded a boat and immigrated to the US in 1930, worked as a, quote, domestic servant for 4 years, and also became a citizen 12 years after arriving here. This is Trump's third wife. As a child, Melania was born in Yugoslavia, came to the US on a travel visa, but broke the law immediately by working here. 4 years later, somehow, she gets fast-tracked, and get this, gets an Einstein or genius visa and becomes a US citizen 10 years after arriving. This is Trump's grandfather, who came to the US from Germany to start a better life, breaking a Bavarian law, by the way, and eventually opened a restaurant and brothel in the US, breaking another US law. This year is one of more than 100,000 immigrants that Trump has arrested because he too wanted a better life, just like members of the Trump clan. If Trump seriously wants to deport every immigrant who has come here and broken the law, he doesn't have to look very far.
I'm here to help ICE find undocumented workers. And boy, do I know where there's lots of them. You got to go to every Republican congressman and senator's home, and to Trump's home down in Florida. You'll find about 10 dozen down there working in his kitchen, on his golf course. But yeah, go to Republican congressmen and senators' homes. You'll find a bunch there too, cooking their meals, watching their kids, doing the landscaping on their lawns, building nice decks in their backyard, putting in brand new roofs. Oh yeah. You're welcome, ICE.
Thinking of a trip to the US? Don't take the risk. The US Secret Police, ICE, are actively rounding up undesirables, and if you get caught up in it by mistake, there's no way out. A man was wrongly deported from Maryland. The US Supreme Court said, bring him back. Trump said no. Abrego Garcia will die in a prison in El Salvador, never having been convicted of a crime. And now Trump will begin rounding up and deporting undesirable US citizens. If ICE is going to start abducting US citizens, visitors, tourists have even fewer rights. If you're a tourist, an immigrant, or just not rich and powerful, it's not safe in the US. The land of freedom is gone. Stay safe. Stay out of America.
Oh yeah, and by the way, last week they flew an 8-stop deportation mega route from Senegal to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where passengers on the last stop likely spent more than 50 hours shackled in handcuffs and leg irons attached to chains around their waists. Does that sound motherfucking familiar?
You know, watching all this honestly feels like something out of a dystopian movie. Except it's not fiction. It's happening right now in the US. People begging to know where their loved ones are, families ripped apart, kids in foster care being deported, planes flying in the middle of the night with their trackers turned off like it's some kind of a secret operation. Guys, we are now officially in a police state. Goodbye, democracy. And here's the irony of it all. The same folks pushing for these mass deportations seem to forget that their own families didn't exactly come here through some perfect, legal, quick, clean process. Trump's family, they're all immigrants. His wives, immigrants. His grandfather literally ran a brothel. But now he wants to act like some kind of a gatekeeper of purity. Come on. The hypocrisy is off the charts. But beyond that, this kind of behavior has consequences, guys. You can't just treat people like they're disposable and expect the world not to notice. Investors see this. Foreign governments see this. The US loves to brag about being the land of opportunity, the land of freedom. But if you are disappearing people into vans, shuttling them on 50-hour flights, and dumping them in prison camps, that's not freedom. That's exactly the kind of stuff America used to condemn other countries for doing. And now we're the ones doing it. And here's the warning. Authoritarian regimes don't happen overnight. They are built step by step. First is the undocumented, then is the asylum seekers, then it's the US citizens who don't fit in. So yeah, if you're sitting back and thinking, this doesn't affect you, well, think again. Because once the system is built, it doesn't care what your passport says or how long your family's been here. If you're not useful to the people in charge, you're expendable. And that's the road we're heading down. All you have to do is study the history of Nazi Germany. It doesn't end well. Drop a comment, like, share, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.